Hello and welcome, I'm Raziel, and today I'm going to review the Kings of War starter set, Battle for the Coral Gate. And so, first things first, let's get something done first, because it's something I think needs to be said. This is not a review copy. I bought and I paid for this box myself out of my own money, so there's going to be no intrinsic bias towards Mantic, because they were nice enough to give me something free. It's not that. It is something I bought and paid for, and I think it's the best way I could do a more sincere review of the box. Anyway, so what do you get in there? You get the third edition rulebook in compendium. You get a little sort of campaign book, which is the Coral Gate sort of. It's a starter book. It's like a campaign book. It shows you the rules for the models and basically the units you get. So it's actually kind of cool. You get 3 hard plastic Trident Realm Dam Busters, 20 plastic Trident Realm Naiad Ensnarers, 20 Trident Realm Riverguard, 1 PVC Realm Depth Horror Internal. I'm just going to call that a Sea Troll, by the way, or a River Troll. It's going to be probably mixed between the two of those, and because honestly it just looks more like a troll. 3 hard plastic Forces of the Abyssal Nagari, 6 plastic Forces of the Abyssal Berserkers, 20 hard plastic Forces of the Lower Abyssals, and MDF bases. So straight away, you do get a fair whack. There's 74 models straight away in this box, and for 90 quid for Mantic, or I got it from Wayland Games because, well, they're down there for that reason. I do use them a lot. I purchase most of my models from Wayland Games. I got it for like £88, so you do get a fair decent saving from. And yeah, that's quite a good. That's a lot of miniatures for your money. It really is. And I think that's what kind of makes Mantic stand out. I will say there is no dice in this or any form of measuring, so those of you will have to purchase separately. Or if you've been into wargaming for a while, you've got 6-sided dice and you've got measuring sticks and tapes, so even then it's not such a big issue. It's just something I think needs pointed out because they're not in there. Okay? And there's no individual bases for the models either. Not something I'm very happy about. It's not something I really like. But it does go with Kings of War, and what they do is instead of having individual base sizes, they have unit footprints, which makes for a faster game because the unit has its saves and modifiers and everything else, but you do have to mark down like who's dead and who's not. So there's a couple of minor gripes I have with it. It's not big things, it's not so, oh no, it's so bad. Like, they're just little things, and it's just to make sure you're aware of what you're going to get into when you buy the box and not have any nasty surprises. Now, let's talk about the models. Now, the leader for the HQ choice for the Abyssal Forces is a resin model, which is the Abyss Efret. It looks kind of cool. You've got 2 choices of poses, well, 2 choices of arms, so it's either him flying up or him firing off a fireball. It's kind of cool to have those options, and also the other arm means you can do a little bit of kit bashing onto your other models as well. Mantic's good for kit bashing, and they do give you a lot of bits for your models. So straight away you have a choice from your HQ choice for the Abyssal Forces, and I think that's a nice thing to have, that you're not just stuck with that one. However, with the Trident Realms, you do only have the Sea Troll. It's the only set model there is. The other thing about the HQ choice is, like, Mantic resin's not the best. It's honestly, of all the resin I've used, I would say it's probably at the bottom, and that's just my opinion on their resin. It doesn't make the model looks really nice. It is a nice looking model, but again, the resin of Mantic's not the best, and just be aware into that. You're going to have to do a lot of cleaning on this one. You've got to really get it clean, because I do find even after a lot of cleaning with the resin, the paint still kind of separates, or even the primer starts to separate on it. So there is that. The hard plastic Sea Troll, the only real issue I had with this was building it, and the way it's made is the 2 arms are linked by the chain, and being hard plastic, made it kind of a lot harder to put together, because you really had to hold in the arms, which isn't easy because it got spiky bits on the shoulder blades, which it meant to hold them in. Otherwise, the chain was sort of contracting and pulling the arms together, and I was finding that I had to constantly put them back on because the chain was literally pulling them off again. So masking tape and some patience with the Citro. But it is a very, very nice looking model. It's very cool. I do like it. It's a fantastic looking model. It has its own base, which is a scenic base, which looks cool as well. And I think it's a nice looking model. It's really cool, and I think it's a superb looking model. Just like I said, it's a hard plastic, and you might have some difficulty keeping the arms in, because again, you're going to have to hold them until the glue sets. Now, for the rest of the models, they say hard plastic, but it's an improvement on their previous plastic, and you can really see how Mantic have improved their plastic with these models, especially the Nagari. The Nagari are wonderful looking models. Their plastic is absolutely superb. They're great sculpts. They were really fun and interesting and just a joy to put together, and I think that's something else. The same with the Dam Busters as well. This hard plastic, so it's not like the Citro hard plastic. You can definitely see the difference. It's more like the hard PVC that we get from all the other companies as well. It's very much on that level of plastic quality. It's really high quality plastic. It's really nice. The models are absolutely superb. They're really well made. And honestly, I cannot fault any of these models. They look great, and they do. And that's the thing. The box itself is pretty well balanced. It doesn't really. The thing is, it kind of seems a bit unbalanced, because the Forces of the Abyss, the Nagari, are three very big models. They are very large models compared to the rest, and that is kind of cool. Because if you're doing Forces of the Abyss, you have these nice large models in your army already, and they look good. And it kind of looks It does have that sort of unbalanced look to it, because you have these big models where the Trident Realms are pretty much all infantry with a bit of cavalry. But it does actually even itself out balance-wise. You have a lot more models with the Trident Realms, which means there's a lot more wounds, and a lot more. They can take a lot more damage before anything else. Whereas the Forces of Abyss have less models, but they can hit harder. So the Forces of the Abyss are very much the offensive side, and the Trident Realms are far more defensive. And also you've got the very, very almost contradictory looks of them. You've got the very hellish look of the Forces of the Abyss. They do look like demons. They look horrible, nasty, all of that. And again, this is a good thing, because compared to the very much nature side of the Sea Elves, which is the Ensnarers and the Dam Busters and the River Guard, basically lizards, they have this more naturalistic look, and they seem to be more of this world, and the Forces of the Abyss of the other world. And it's a nice contrast in this box. Now, it is a great box, and it's worth getting if you are going to get one of the armies. If you just want to build up your Forces of the Abyss, or add some more to your Trident Realms, it's quite good for that. Especially Trident Realms, because with the Sea Troll being a monster, as well as your Lord or HQ choice, it means if you're going to add this, you've got this. You don't have to have him as your Lord. You've got him as an extra unit to go with him. So you still have your Lord, and you just got something else to go with it. The Forces of the Abyss, the HQ is definitely the HQ, so there's not much change in that. But the Nagari and the Berserkers are very large models and look really cool. So they're more central pieces, and they just end up making your army look a bit more powerful if you were to add this box to, say, your current army. The rulebook is the red rulebook. If you're into Mantic, you know what I mean. Well, means it's just the rules and the data sheets and nothing else. However, it's not all the data sheets for this box. But that's what that booklet's for. They have said they will be re-releasing another rulebook, which will have the Trident Realms in, all the units in this box in there. But you do need that starter booklet if you're playing these forces, because some of the units are only in that and not. There's no lore in the rulebook either. Like I said, it's just the rules. All the data sheets for all the other armies are in there as well. So it's not just the forces of the abyss and the Trident Realms. It's the dwarves, the halflings. It's a good book for everyone because you got all the rules you need. But like I said, there's no lore in the book. So again, be wary of that if you're thinking like this is going to be, you can look at some lore. No, that's what the green rule book is for. This is the red rule book. So no, you don't get the lore in this. But it's well made. It's well put together. It's very good box. It's got some minor gripes. Like I said, there is no individual bases for the units. They are all on the footprints on the MDF. So if you're going to have to build them, then place them on the MDF, build them, paint them, then place them on the MDF. Because you can't just, you won't be. It's going to be very difficult if you put the whole unit on the MDF, then try and paint in between the models. No, you're going to have to do them all individually, paint them individually, put them on the MDF, and there you'll be done. But it does mean you can really experiment and play with the bases, because you're not just got the square. You can really, really have good fun with the base and have a lot of, making it your own as well. It also means that, unlike the square bases with other games, and even including Kings of War, which I find, it's sometimes a bit difficult to place models side by side because just the way they are, and it's not, and they tend to be a bit skew with this because it's the one footprint. It does actually make it a lot easier to transport the models and have them out on the field rather than going 1, 2, 3, 4. So it does make the game a lot faster and a lot easier. That said, the models are really good. They're really nice models, and it really does show that Mantic is stepping up to the plate when it comes to model quality, especially when it comes to people like Games Workshop. They're really showing their strength and that they can produce the good stuff now, and they are really, really going hard on this, and I think it's great. I like the fact that you've got it's a nice variation of choices. There are no repeat units in this one. Each side has 4 individual units. This includes the HQ. And so you have a nice choice of models, a nice choice of, ways to build and paint and play as well. Given that, there's lots of pieces for each unit as well. So you're not just stuck with a set model, a set unit. You can really sort of experiment with ones you want to do and what weapons you want to give them as well. So it is really kind of cool, and it's a really well made box, and I think this is definitely worth the £90 it costs. It's a nice box for 90 quid. It's exactly what you'd expect to spend for 90 quid. 74 models for a start, and you get 2 decent sized armies for people who would get into the game or just getting into these armies, or buffing up another army and just wanting to quickly improve better and I want to say embolden increase the size of your current force. So yeah, I think these are nice models, and yeah, I think this is a worth box. This is a box worth buying. Like I said, minor gripes, the MDF bases, though I can see the positive side of it. There is that you have to sort of do it all at once, and there is of course the River Troll model, that sort of plastic. Because of the way it's made, it kind of does pull the arms in together, so you've got to really hold it tight. And again, having spiky shoulders, it can get kind of sore. So, masking tape is your friend here. You do need dice and measuring sticks and tape, whatever, as well. So, overall, great box. Honestly, worth getting if you're looking for something to play, if you're moving from Games Workshop, the old world isn't doing it for you. This box is really good. You've got 2 very different forces one you definitely don't really see in fantasy games, lizards riding frogs and sea elves. And we're not talking Idoneth Deepkin here. They're very different from that. And of course, the forces of the abyss very much look like your classic demons from biblical literature. They're very, very scary. You have snake-bodied Nagari. It's a different box for a different game, but it's definitely going to be there if you want to try something outside of the Warhammer range. Like, if you're just tired of Games Workshop, you cannot go wrong with this box. Even if you're not tired of Games Workshop, you cannot go wrong with this box. It is going to be well worth your time and your money. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I bought this myself and I got it from Wayland Games, which down below you can get a decent discount on it as well, which is kind of cool. And it's well worth getting. So yeah, check out Wayland Games down below as well for, you know, up to 20% off and free delivery after £20. There is also Forbidden Planet comics, games, DVDs, mangas, all that really cool stuff is there as well. There's my comics and my merchandise down below as always. Skyforge, never forget Skyforge, good friend of mine, so, you know, give them a click, let's get them up the Google algorithm. And finally, there is Patreon, because business. Bye bye.